Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel and to my 10th YouTube project. For my 10th project, I decided to make some what I consider to be simple gift ideas. I know it's nowhere near Christmas yet, but when you do resin, every month is a good time to give gifts. So I have pen molds. Everybody needs pens all year round. And I have some coaster molds which are dog and cat themed. I have colleagues who are animal owners, mostly cats. So for Christmas last year, I gifted my colleagues a pen and a coaster. You don't have to use cat themed or dog themed, obviously. There are plenty of coaster molds out there which have different preset patterns into them. And you can obviously also use just a plain coaster mold and put your own design on it. These are brand new pigments, opaque. I deliberately made sure I bought some opaque pigments, and this is the first time using them, so I will link these in the description. Okay there, so for the cat coaster, the cat pattern merges into the border, so I've barriered off the merging points with a toothpick or cocktail stick, whatever you call it, with some jewellery tape wrapped around it. You will get some resin leakage underneath that, or you may not. You most likely will, but it's easy to trim off, so don't worry about that. Now what I should have done is started with the lettering, because I do a lot of messing about, and whilst I'm doing the cat, the resin is thickening up in the cup and the lettering is thinner than most of the cat, especially the word better. I should have started with the lettering, and specifically I should have started with the word better, so that I got the thinnest parts whilst the resin was still at its thinnest. But never mind. So I've poured some resin into the biggest parts of the cat, and then I'm partially letting it self-level and spread out, but helping it along where needed. So whilst we wait for something else to talk about on the project, my thoughts on the voiceover. I was worried about being able to keep up with the video. So I've obviously time-lapsed this, so I've played about with different speeds so that I can test out different ways of being able to keep up with the video with the sort of script I'm using. It's a script in my head, I'm not actually reading a script. So that was my first concern. So let me know in the comments if you think this voiceover style works and whether I did manage to keep up with the speed of the video okay, whether when I said something you could relate it to what I was doing at the time or I'd just done, etc. Let me know if you think that this voiceover method is working for you. Also, my concern was with background noise. I've had to re-record this because the last attempt that I made, the cats were fighting in the background. And another concern is you can't take out words if you say the wrong words, or if you say a lot of ums and so's. You can't take that out on a voiceover. Whereas previously what I would do is I had a program which you could delete the sections of the videos where you say and so, or just leave long silences, but that cuts out the video as well, which is why the video is so choppy. And also when you take out a word, it sometimes chops off half of the next word, so it distorts what you've said. So at least this way you are getting my full words without the choppiness. Okay, so there I poured a little in to the widest parts of the letters, so the corner of the L, the word, that is the word life at the top there. The I, F and E are all joined, so there's a big wide patch in the middle of, sort of in the middle of the F. So I poured a little in there, a little in there, spread it around up to the extremities of the letters, and then I'm just giving it a little bit of a tidy up. Meanwhile, the cat had started to overspill, so a bit of tidy up there, and also taking a little bit out and putting it into my drip mold. And I'm using a micro brush there to tidy up around the edges. So yeah, please let me know if you prefer this voiceover style. Another benefit to the voiceover style is this video was just over 2 hours. I think it was about 2 hours and 5 minutes pre-edit. With the old style of recording, what I did there, I got it down to 1 hour and 9 minutes. By being able to just time-lapse the whole video to do this voiceover method, I've got it down to 19 minutes, 20 minutes. Whereas if I was doing it my old method, I'd be letting you listen to me talk while I worked for a little section. Then I'd do a little bit of a time-lapse with some music. So this video could still have ended up being around about 35-40 minutes. I've got this down to 20 minutes by doing it this style. If you prefer this style and you feel like I've explained what I'm doing good enough, that you don't feel like, well, how did she do that? Or what did she use there? Then obviously the shorter the video, but without missing out important information, is better for you. So for the last time, I'll ask, please let me know if you like this voiceover style. Okay, there for the word better. I used a cocktail stick to drop it in rather than try and pour from the spout of the cup. Because the lettering is so thin, I just wanted to just use the tip of a cocktail stick to just drop her in and kind of draw the resin onto the mould rather than pour it into the letters, because it's so thin. Those letters are so thin. You need to get it right in there. If you just try and pour, you're going to make a mess and create bubbles. It's just not going to, it's going to form a bubble over the letter. So with the word better, I used the cocktail stick and just kind of drew it around. And also I haven't filled up the word better. I haven't filled the depth of those letters. As long as there is resin touching the mould surface, it will show through on the other side when you've demoulded it. If you're liking my teaching style, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please also hit the subscribe button whilst you're down there. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And obviously I'm just doing a little bit more tidy up there. With the word better, because the letters are so thin, it was quicker and easier to tidy up using a cotton bud, because the cotton bud just sweeps straight over the top of the letters. Whereas with a bigger letter, the cotton bud might have dipped into the lettering. So that's why I'm being more delicate with a micro brush around the thicker letters. But with the word better, just a swipe over with cotton bud was fine. And I'll just let you listen to some music whilst I finish filling the lettering on the dog themed coaster. Oh, it looks like I actually paused it a little there. Okay, so the dog themed coaster doesn't have any part of the design touching the border. So with this one, I was able to do a separate coloured border. I could do that on the cat coaster as well. Once the cat is cured and I can take those barriers out, I could do a separate border for the cat as well. But by the time that's ready, this will be ready for the full coat, you know, the full backing. To do the border on the cat coaster, that would put the cat coaster one step behind. So I end up deciding not to do a border on the cat coaster. So here I found a lovely grey colour, and I really like it. I really like the contrast. So I'm just trying to gently get it into the border without making too much mess. But obviously, as always with resin, there's always a little bit of cleanup required. So the cat themed coaster is just going to be clear with a little gold and silver leaf in, and it's going to have a pen to match. So I've already put some gold and silver leaf in the pen mold, and here I'm just teasing away the stick from the resin. I'm trying to not lift up and pull the tail. I'm trying to tease it away outwards so that I can separate it from the tail, break the seal with my nail, hopefully. Now with that little separate piece of tail, it does come away, can't be helped, but that's fine. I can just pop it back in after I've trimmed it. And the little tiny bit of trimming required on the other part of tail as well. Obviously be very careful if you decide to take a knife or scissors to your resin while it's still in the mould. I just needed a tiny bit of trim up. And the bottom one didn't need any trim at all. Okay, so now I'm talking about deciding what background to use for the dog coaster. So I've already decided on the leaf for the cat one, and I was just talking about that glitter kit that I've got there is a £2 box from a shop called The Works in the UK. Here I have put some gold and silver leaf on the cat coaster, and then remembered I didn't spray any alcohol, so made the mistake of spraying the alcohol and blowing the leaf all over. So I stopped the video for a while there so that I could put it all back on. And there I'm using some clear to fill up the mould and go around the edge to lift up any bubbles. I love this clear with gold and silver foil style. Not necessarily for these coasters, I just like that style in general. But with doing colours for the cats and the lettering and the dog paw and the lettering, I like to have a good contrasting colour for the whole background, but I don't want it to be plain. So that's why I like that style of clear with the leaves in. I'm just putting a bit more leaf in just to fill it up a little bit more. I mixed up 40 millilitres and I hoped that 20 would work for one coaster, one pen. It turns out that I used 30 for one coaster and one pen. So I need to mix up a little bit more in a moment. I haven't got to that bit yet. Here I poured the resin down the side so that it can run around naturally and underneath the pen refill. If you just pour on top, you risk it creating a bubble where it doesn't sink through underneath the refill properly. So you pour it on the side and let it run around itself. And obviously check for bubbles, especially at the nib end. It will completely ruin your piece if you've got a bubble at the nib end of the pen. And again, just topping up with a little bit more leaf just to fill it up a little bit more. Now, obviously, you're going to be able to see the pen refill through the pen I'm not telling you to use a clear resin with just some leafing or glitter or whatever. These are just to show you easy gift ideas. If you don't want to see the refill in the middle, please use an opaque colour. Okay, I'm here to just give you ideas. You can elevate them how you want them and design them how you want them. And obviously, as I always say, I'm not here to give perfect results. I'm here to give you ideas. If you can take my ideas and have perfect results yourself, that is brilliant. I've done my job, but you can also learn from my mistakes. Okay, so I decided on a pale blue glitter for the background of this one. If you like my teaching style, again, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button while you're down there as well. Thank you so much. We're coming close to demold now. As soon as I've filled this pen, I'm just checking for bubbles again on this one, around the lettering, etc. Once I've filled this pen, we will go to a... Well, we won't go to anything. I'll have paused the video and I'll be coming back for demold. Oh, one thing to say about the pens is you will end up with a flat edge, obviously, on the top. What I tend to do is give them an extra little coat just to make sure, not necessarily to dome it, not necessarily to make it rounded, but just to slightly round off the squareness of that edge. When we come to demold it, I'll tell you it was not sharp. There were no sharp edges. It was just a bit too flat for my liking, so I just did a little extra just to slightly round off the obvious squareness. The squareness, that's the word, the squareness. The cat coaster was a bit underpoured, so I give that an extra little coat off camera, but I go ahead and demold the rest of it. So the dog coaster was completely full up, no sharp edges, a little trimming required. So I do a little bit of the trimming now, but then I finish the rest off camera. And I love the contrast of the glossy letters and paw against the kind of frosted glass look of the main part of the coaster. I love that contrast. And so there I'm showing you the squareness, and there was no bubble on the nib end. Actually I'm showing you it was slightly underpoured on the top end, you know, the top of the pen, but not underpoured. So obviously I didn't have a level table. It was not underpoured on the nib end. So when I do an extra coat, or when I did an extra coat for this cat coaster, I also did a bit more of a coat on the pens anyway, to compensate for underfill, never mind just to round off that squared edge. And again, lovely contrast of glossy letters and cat against the backdrop of a frosted glass type effect black backdrop for the main coaster. There was a little trimming required on that pen, which I do off camera. But again, I'm running my finger along the edge to show how it is not sharp. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, if you've liked my style, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. Wait for the final pictures, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a good week.